Breaking news came out today on the Boxing Voice, shout out to Ness, where he interviewed David Benavidez's manager, Samson, who revealed that Canelo Alvarez turned down way more than $50 million to fight David Benavidez next. To make matters worse, David Benavidez accepted a pay cut in order to entice Canelo in, where David Benavidez gave up some of the money he was going to earn in order to give to Canelo so he can take the fight. David Benavidez is even willing to take less money than both Canelo Alvarez's previous opponents in Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders, where they got paid $10 million and $8 million. So essentially, David Benavidez is willing to take less than $8 million to fight Canelo Alvarez. Therefore, we all know David Benavidez doesn't want the Canelo fight for a payday, only for a legacy day. In fact, the only one that's going to get paid is Canelo Alvarez himself. This is a payday for Canelo, not Benavidez. This is by far Canelo Alvarez's biggest payday. And would you guys believe Canelo turned the fight down in a heartbeat? Check out what David Benavidez's manager had to say.
Why wasn't an offer made to Canelo to fight Benavidez next instead of Charlo?
Or both. Why not offer them both fights?
You want to know the money you're talking about?
No. ¿Por qué no le hicieron una oferta a Canelo para la pelea con David?
You got the offer for much more than $45 million.
Oh, okay. So we're misunderstanding. So you're saying that Canelo did receive an offer for Benavidez for more than $45 million, but it's just not being reported?
That is correct. You have the
breaking news.
Breaking news.
So how many more millions did they offer Canelo? Was because Charlo's 45, was David a $50 million offer? 48? What?
Much more, a lot more.
More than 50 million.
Much more than that. The PBC is sending offer
for Benavidez,
and Benavidez agreed to take much less
for Canelo.
Give him Canelo for the challenge. This to prove to everyone that doesn't come for a payday, that doesn't need it, because he's making very good money every time he fights. He will take much less, like any one of the last opponents of Canelo. So it means that he give millions of dollars of his money to give it to Canelo.
So you're saying that David has expressed that he will take less than the $10 million Caleb Plant got in order to just get the opportunity to fight Canelo?
Much less.
Wow.
Now for the full interview, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. I recommend you guys watch the full interview. Nevertheless, we all know Canelo Alvarez at 168. He stole, just like a thief, he stole David Benavidez's WBC belt in order to become undisputed, making Canelo the undisputed thief in the sport of boxing. I mean, what kind of champion that steals a belt in order to become undisputed after turning down 2 offers to fight David Benavidez when he was still a champion? I'm talking about before David Benavidez even lost the title on the scale due to the COVID protocols. That's when Canelo requested to fight Avni Yildirim. Canelo ordered that fight, not the WBC. I mean, just look at Avni's record. This went down as one of the greatest cherry picks of all time. This is how Canelo became undisputed, by stealing David Benavidez's belt. And Canelo tried to justify the situation by stating that he doesn't fight Mexican fighters. He doesn't fight his own people. But he forgot he fought Chavez Jr. at 164 catchweight. I guess Canelo forgot he made Josesito Lopez move up 2 divisions in order to fight him. I guess he forgot he fought Angulo, so on and so forth. But we all know what time it is. Benavidez, just like Andre, made the horrible fighter list, aka a horrible matchup for Canelo where he can end up losing, aka the dangerous fighters list. Remember, David Benavidez is Canelo's mandatory as we speak. But we all know when it comes to Canelo, it's NBF and NMF. No black fighters / no Mexican fighters that can fight. Now, you best believe if you bring Chavez Jr., Canelo will fight him in a heartbeat. Or if you bring a mandatory like Avni Yildirim, Canelo will go out of his way to request to fight him in a heartbeat. Just like he requested to fight Makabu. However, when it came to the horrible fighters, Canelo turned down more than $50 million to fight David Benavidez. Unbelievable. Just like he turned down 3 years ago, $40 million guaranteed, which was his biggest payday at the time, to fight Demetrius Andrade for undisputed. After he told the public that he set a goal for himself to become undisputed at middleweight and be the first Mexican fighter to do so. However, he gave up on his dream as soon as Andrade became the WBO champion. Furthermore, both Andrade and Benavidez have one thing in common. Canelo stole both of their belts the exact same way, in the exact same fashion. When Canelo was Andrade mandatory at 154, he waited until Andrade vacated the WBO title and requested to fight Smith for it the next freaking day. However, when Andrade was calling him out the whole entire time disrespectfully, Canelo was ignoring him the entire time. On the other hand, Canelo did the same thing to David Benavidez, where at 168, David Benavidez sent Canelo 2 offers when David Benavidez was still a champion, and Canelo turned down both of the offers. However, as soon as David Benavidez lost the title on the scale, literally the next day, Canelo requested to fight Avni Yildirim. What a coincidence. This is the reason why Canelo will go down in history as the biggest duck of all time. On the other hand, apparently we on the horizon to witness a clash between the two boogeymen at 168 and 160 in David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. Andrade said that he's moving up to 168 in order to accept David Benavidez's challenge. However, according to Samson, which is David Benavidez's manager, he stated on the Boxing Voice that he wants more money for Benavidez to fight Andrade than for Benavidez to fight Canelo, which is not logical in any way, shape, or form. This will be my next video, inshallah, so be on the lookout for the cookout. In the meantime, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
So I'm the first fighter to hold 5 titles at one particular time. Now I don't know if nobody has done that. Now we got I think we got Canelo right now got 4. What 3? I don't know what the number. I think got 4. And then he's going up to cruiserweight. He's fighting a guy that's really not the guy look up and down, but it is what it is. I mean, if it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. He's going up. He's going up to cruise, and I'm not knocking him, but he's going up to cruiserweight. And that same guy he used to be at the Mayweather boxing gym. The guys was really getting the best of him in the Mayweather boxing gym. So if he's going up to quote unquote cruiserweight, I mean we got a lot. Benavidez can go and beat that same guy. He can beat that same guy at 168. So he's not doing nothing. Like I said before, do I like this fight? Absolutely not. We want to see Benavidez. Let's make it happen. Hell of a fighter. And even Benavidez should be ranked in the top pound for pound. But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. And he was what he could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
You think he was clean the night he fought?
I'm saying I don't know. I don't know. That's y'all. Just Canelo. Come on, man. That kid was a cakewalk. Kid, easy.
You named 5 fighters.
Hablando precisamente de límites, yo tuve el gusto de ver gran parte de tus peleas y toda tu carrera. Nunca pasaste de las 147. Tradicionalmente el boxeador mexicano no es ni de estatura ni de tamaño. Sin embargo, vemos esta ironía en Canelo, que lo conocimos en la 147 y ahora está peleando en la 168.
Sí, porque es un peleador, su complexión le da para eso, Claudia. Si tú ves el Canelo, pues muy espaldón, tiene unas piernonas, y es un peleador que se adapta en 154, 168, 135, lo ves, y no se ve gordo, ¿me entiendes? Yo, la verdad, pues yo nunca pude dar 147 libras. O sea, no...
143 fue lo máximo.
Lo máximo que di fueron 141, 142 libras cuando peleé con De La Hoya y cuando peleé con Whittaker. Pero nunca pude dar yo 147 libras, ¿me entiendes? Y la verdad, o sea, a mí no me dio para más, ¿me entiendes? Porque mi comprensión, pues no me lo da, pero hay peleadores como Canelo que la verdad puede pelear este peso completo, yo creo, y se va a ver